If you were to come and look at the bookshelves behind me, you would find out that I've spent a lot of money over the years buying books about prayer. That probably tells you something about my prayer life, that I'm always trying to find something that will help me. And I just grabbed 3 of them off the shelf today just to show you. This one's by a guy named Philip Yancey. You can see it's really thick. It is really detailed. It was confusing. It didn't really help very much. This guy wrote a book called Too Busy Not to Pray, and his premise was that we needed to slow down and find time to pray. And well, okay, that's great. I think I ought to, but I just don't, right? Like I have a hard time praying, so telling me to slow down and pray isn't very useful. This guy even made it worse. He took a line from Jesus when they were in the Garden of Gethsemane and said, "Could you not tarry 1 hour? Could you not pray for an hour?" That's what he said to the disciples. This guy's claim is that we should be praying an hour a day at least. I don't know about you, but none of that seems all that helpful to me. And I still struggle with my prayer life. I still struggle just saying the same things over and over again, asking for blessings for me and my family. But what if my prayer life was different? What if it was better? What if I had different words or a different focus or a different way to pray? What if I had something else that made it more inspiring to me and maybe more useful, maybe more instructive, maybe more helpful? Well, if you've ever felt that way, and I think you do, because every time I ask, what kind of class would you like me to teach? Prayer is often one of the classes that is suggested. I think you probably struggle too. So this week's sermon will be helpful. What I have for you this week is a prayer of the Apostle Paul from Ephesians chapter 3. And we're going to take that prayer apart and look at the things he prays for, because here's a spoiler alert, he doesn't pray the way I pray. He doesn't pray for the same things that I pray for. He doesn't pray the way you pray either. When I've heard you pray, he prays for other things. Paul probably has something to teach us in the way that he prays. And this prayer that I'm going to give you will be useful because it'll help you learn how to pray. It'll give you some words to say. It'll give you a different starting point. Maybe it'll be something that'll revitalize your prayer life in 2024. Even if you pray relatively often right now, any increase in prayer is a good thing. The sermon is called Pray and Never Give Up, Making Our Prayers More Focused and Effective. Really practical lesson, lots of help, lots of suggestions on how to use and do things. I think you'll really enjoy it. Bible study at 10 o'clock. We're in 2 Kings still. This week we are in chapter 7. Chapter 7 of 2 Kings tells a story that is like a lot of other stories in the Word of God. God often waits till the very last second before he saves his people so that they have no doubt who did the saving. 2 Kings 7 is very much like that. God's people are in a hopeless situation, and they are rescued by God's grace and by his power and by his goodness. This story might seem like one we could skip over because it took place a long time ago. It's about a bunch of people who are stuck in a city and can't get out, and the enemy's outside the gates. And what does that have to do with us? Lots, actually. There are lots of things in this chapter to talk about, lots of things that relate to us, and lots of promises to remember. 2 Kings chapter 7, the class is called A Bad Situation with a Good Outcome. And maybe you can relate to that too. You may have had a few of those yourself. This Sunday, Sunday school classes will be running for the kids. Thank you to Sunday school teachers. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for doing that. We don't get to see it because you're downstairs, but thank you for doing those things. People will bring their families to church. We're going to gather as a church family. It's going to be really nice. Hope to see you there.